Okay, folks, we are live. Welcome back to yet another Coinsider live stream. Tomorrow we are doing a special episode, kind of an impromptu one, with none other than GPTJosh. You guys have seen him around in the past, and as you all know, he is really knowledgeable about airdrops. And so, what is the biggest topic of the day? What if people in retail DAO and other communities on Crypto X, what has everyone been talking about? Well, that's none other than the Monad airdrop. So we're going to start there. We have a lot of juicy topics. But first, Josh, do you want to just say a few words, anything on your mind before we jump into Monad?
100%, man. First and foremost, good to be back on the show. It's been a while. Miss you guys. Good to hop on. Of course, the big topic going on right now in crypto is Monad, probably one of the most hyped airdrops ever, definitely of this year, when it comes to new blockchains, new protocols, new layer ones, right? And they're, the big parallelization narrative that's coming into the scene. And that's really the big selling point for those who may not know, like, oh, what makes Monad different. They have a ton of funding, a ton of resources. They've had just a ton of hype and a big community. And there's been a lot of different controversy around the airdrop. And now we're finally getting to see our allocations. It's being revealed in 3 different days, and you don't know how much you're going to see of your full allocation. I think that was a really smart marketing ploy by them. But yeah, man, excited to get into Monad. Why is it important? Why is there so much hype about it? And are there any opportunities following the airdrop and heading into TGE? That's another thing I think we should talk about and get into that. But yeah, man, excited to jump into that today.
For sure. I think the first thing about Monad is I know a lot. Like we were talking before the stream started, and you were saying that a lot of people were saying that they would never launch, that they were so behind, But given that they are getting closer and closer and making great progress recently, I'm actually quite impressed with how Monad has handled their public relations or their marketing and things like that. I think, let me know if you disagree, but I think they're one of the better ones when it comes to just general L1, L2 ecosystems.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this whole rollout was handled just really, really professionally. And through all like the stress, the pressure, the FUD, and all these things, the team just kept executing their plan. They said they're not changing anything. Of course, a lot of the farming community was really outraged to see that a lot of their wallets weren't eligible. And some of those eligibility allocations went to KOLs, the broader crypto ecosystem, people who can really amplify the Monad story and narrative and onboard more users. So
Actually,
that
I want to ask you about that. I feel like that's
yeah.
quite unfair for the farmers who really took a lot of time and effort. And I mean, I was a quote unquote KOL, so I got the highest tier. I'm not complaining about that, but in terms of general strategy, do you like how Monad did their allocation or no? And especially as it relates to future airdrops, maybe they copy Monad, maybe they don't. What do you think?
Well, I think if you know a little bit about just the business of crypto, the business side of things, more so than the user side of things, you see the angle that they took here because they're playing that a little bit more long term. Yes, they burnt a lot of the farmers who spent a lot of time and effort, chasing this airdrop, but ultimately rewarded some KOLs and people who can potentially onboard more users into the Monad system than those people who were farming. Now, there's a lot of controversy with that because, of course, in the short term, you're going to get a lot of enraged users who's actually been around your project for a long time and been spending time, testing out your software, and they don't get anything. And then you have some users like you and even myself who didn't farm hard, who wasn't on the test net, wasn't doing things like that, and you got the top allocation. I got the second highest allocation. But they're hoping that, hey, Coinsider Kevin, GPTJosh, Star Platinum, all these other KOLs who constantly talk about crypto are pleased with Monad, and I guess they get in their good graces and they talk about Monad for free. I noticed that this whole rollout was actually very marketing focused and marketing centric. They want maximum mind share, they want maximum buzz around the project, and that's why they rewarded KOLs and people with the community more so than they did the their own core community. So in the long term, that does have a chance to be a better choice. In the short term, there's definitely negative sentiment with the people who believe the most in your project. I'm not complaining because I got the airdrop, but time will tell. Overall, I think it may actually end up being a good move, because I want to quickly go back to Sui. Actually, I'm wearing a lot of Sui gear right now. There was actually FUD around Sui when they launched because they didn't do an airdrop at all. And it almost seemed like there was going to be an airdrop. Say is another one that had a really disappointing airdrop vibe, but then went on to have success, right? So I can definitely see that happening with Monad. It comes down to how good the tech is. If the tech can speak for itself and stand for itself, and you have all these KOLs talking about your project, that was definitely the right call and the way that they can onboard max users. So that's what I think. What about you?
In general, I think the ceiling for Monad and some of these other promising ones coming out, MegaETH, I see it about they can reach Sui if they do everything right, in my opinion. I would be shocked if they can reach Solana. Like that's like 10x more, right? Or 8 to 10x more. Yeah. But if they don't do things right, then their floor is a lot lower. Like Eclipse and some of the other ones, like their chart, it looks disgusting. It looks like awful. And no one's really using, I don't know anyone using those, to be honest. But there may be some niche like projects building on top, whatever. But like, I feel like as a layer 1, layer 2 to succeed, you need to have great apps on top, and you kind of need to own a narrative per se. Like if there's a hot new narrative, InfoFi or prediction markets or whatever in the future, you kind of need to own a like really lead a narrative. And it's hard to see how Monad and some of these other ones will do it, but I think it's possible if they just continue to ride the momentum from their airdrop and whatnot. Do you think Monad can get to Sui's place or even a little bit higher, or not really?
Well, we haven't hit mainnet yet. When it comes to pre-launch sentiment, when it comes to resources, tools, just pre-launch success, the amount of active users they have, the amount of hype around their token, they definitely have all the tools to get to those levels. Like this is similar. I remember similar vibes to this when Say was coming out, when Sui even was coming out. Similar projects. This probably has the biggest spotlight of the last week in crypto for sure. So as far as just initial tools, signs, it's tough to tell from there because there's lots of projects that's had max hype and ended up being pretty much vapor. But in this situation, it comes down to the tech and, like you mentioned, the apps that are built on top of it, right? So it's important to see what's next. What's next for mainnet? Is it really faster than all these other blockchains? Are there really actually useful apps where I'd rather do this on Monad than somewhere else? Is there a lot of value flowing into it? That's another important one too. After the airdrop, are you going to see just the TVL just like drop off a cliff because everyone's dumping and moving away from Monad? Or are people leaving their airdrop in Monad ecosystem and looking for new plays underneath? If the latter, if that is the case, then that's when we can start seeing Monad potentially start to pick up, see some TVL rise. And then that's when more developers are more inspired to come onto Monad and build even cooler apps. And then that's that flywheel, right? So I think it comes down to the tech and the apps when it comes out.
So like for people farming airdrops over the past like 2 years, I'd say it's been largely the best idea to dump it. Like usually airdrops fall after the next, like, I don't know, say 3-month period. It's usually lower than launch day price. Now, one huge exception to that rule, and there's always exceptions to every rule, was Hyperliquid. Yeah, people also, I know people who dumped thinking they were smart. I mean, I can't say thinking they were smart because it is like 90% that follow that rule, but they're like, it's going to retrace and give me a better entry point in like a month or two. And the price pretty much left them like behind. Essentially, they either FOMO'd in higher or they just sidelined the entire run up like 10x or more. So what do you think about that? Do you think Monad is it possible? I mean, I can't say is it possible, but what do you think about that? Do you think it potentially could happen or not? You wouldn't think so for Monad.
I wouldn't think so, to be honest with you. Of course, I like to be bullish. I'm usually more on the bull side and the bear side, but Monad, I will say, and I'll say this here on live, on record, I am gonna dump most of it, maybe not all of it, and I think it does follow that airdrop theory, as to most of them are lower in the next 3-6 months next year than the launch price, and that comes down to the difference you mentioned with Hyperliquid versus Monad. There was very little VC presence around Hyperliquid's launch, if at all. Whereas Monad, they've raised hundreds of millions of dollars over the last couple years, right? So you have a lot of overhang when it comes to these VCs, right? And I feel like not only the VCs, but just early contributors, that's where that main sell pressure is coming from on launch day. A lot of these people, by the time TGE hits, by launch hits, they're already up 10, 20, 30x, 50x plus. And those are the things that really can, of course, move the markets. And also the distribution of the airdrop. I think they were smart to only give it to 250,000 wallets, again, to minimize overhang. And I don't feel like they gave out a crazy amount of tokens to the recipients for how much they raised and what they could have done. So I feel like it can go both ways, but overall, I wouldn't treat this like Hyperliquid, and I don't think this is Hyperliquid level airdrop.
I feel like if teams are smart, I mean, this is like not new, but people always say like the token price is part of your marketing these days.
It is.
Like if your price looks like crap, then that looks bad for your project, even if you have everything else going for it. It's like public sentiment matters and price matters. Unfortunately, for those who like really build hard and really like grind away, adding value, if the price looks bad, unfortunately, it's still like a big like negative mark on your project. So reason I say that is because if Monad really is smart and cares about marketing like it looks like they do, and they have a lot of resources, like you said, they raise a lot of funds, et cetera, then potentially I'm hopeful that they will care about the token price. I mean, the smaller projects, there's not much that they can do sometimes. They don't have the resources to defend the chart per se, but
right.
I think Monad can. And that if they're smart, if they want longevity, then I think they do defend the price or do what they can.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. And the market maker culture has completely taken over crypto, especially with the projects that have the money for it, right? They control majority of the actual price action that you see, and like you said, protecting the price, even pumping the price in certain situations. Most big chains and tokens that you see out there, that are in the hundreds of millions, even billions of market cap, they're almost guaranteed to be working with a market maker who can kind of control price levels and different things like that with the power of exchanges, and they control the supply to do different things like that. Of course, Monad has the level of resources and the money to do that, and like you said, it's in their best interest. The best marketing is price action, right? Everyone wants to get on when something has strong momentum to the upside, right? So I agree with you, it is in their best interest to do that. However, I'm not holding my breath. I'm just not holding my breath when it comes to that. The price has actually been bleeding on the pre-markets, as we see.
Yeah, I'm looking at, can you see this? I'm looking at it right now. So at 0.05, first of all, I want to call out all the engagement farmers on X who are like the top tier is going to get like 100,000 or so USD worth. And then the bottom tier is going to get like 10 to 20,000. I was like, there's no way. It's like a order of magnitude off, and they're just engagement farming. And if we look at this pre-market price on Hyperliquid, it's at around 0.05, 0.06, which my math would be right. The highest tier would get around 10 to 20K at most, unless you were like top, like top 10 or top 20 people overall, you know? And also, I think a lot of people are photoshopping. Unfortunately, X is all about like engagement baiting and trying to get viral. Like that's how their algorithm works. I mean, Elon and Nikita are still like tweaking it, but so far, I think most of them were like, oh, I got like $500,000 worth. Complete BS, complete engagement baiting is my take on it.
Yeah, that CT culture, unfortunately, is annoying. Anything that's going to have a lot of attention on it, people are going to try, maximize the attention that Monad currently has by making spoof tweets or just trolling, just to get people to engage, like you said, and grow their following, grow their engagement, etc. um yeah, it's pretty it's pretty annoying because you get some misinformation and think you might be needing to do things, but after you've been on CT for long enough, you start to you get better at depicting what's just total
Yeah.
BS and what's legit. So
By the
yeah,
way,
what after
go
you
ahead.
I was gonna ask you like a more longer open-ended question. So
Sure.
now,
Let's go.
okay, so what's your strategy for the Monad airdrop? What are you gonna do with yours? Are you gonna be dumping? Are you gonna be looking for plays underneath? Are you just gonna hold and chill?
I
And
think I'm
why?
gonna do potentially half and half, hold and dump and hold. Um, yeah, lock in some, but honestly, like this is good. Like we shouldn't complain about free money per se, but
Yeah,
like it's not like crazy amounts. It wasn't like hyperliquid amounts or some other ones that
right.
were huge cooks,
Yeah,
So I don't think it hurts if I hold a chunk of it and see if it can go to like point 0.5. I think in a bull run, if a bull run were to come, I do think it can get to like maybe point 0.5, which would be
10x from here,
10x from its current pre-market prices.
and then you get your
Um,
100K, like they said.
well, not if I sell like
Not
50%
a, oh
or
yeah, that's
so,
true.
but yeah. Anyways, um, yeah, I like Monad, and one thing that people in the chat are talking about is that a lot of us in retail DAO, our retail DAO related wallets got were eligible. Maybe some people like for the smallest tier, but the theory
But
is
still,
that we were doing like legit on-chain activity, especially on base. I don't know why they would count that. Maybe I don't know. They maybe they just like organic like on-chain activity, And so if we did votes, like governance
governance,
votes on Aragon or just like some bridging or
snapshot.
some trading on like base Uniswap, then maybe that like was a factor in their algorithm or in their like formula. I should say because they're like KOL, being a KOL got you some stuff. Maybe organic on-chain activity got you some stuff. Apparently, farming on Discord didn't get you anything, or got you a
Yes,
super tiny amount. I don't know. Um,
yeah, I read up on that actually. It's the governance. It's the on-chain governance.
it
And
was okay.
yeah, for base and for all the people who got in for retail DAO, it had to have been for the most part the on-chain governance because it shows that your wallet this is a crypto user that is actually participating in crypto ecosystems, not just getting in and out. You're not just holding something for 2 seconds, trying to get a quick 2x and then dump and then go off
Yeah,
chain.
yeah,
These are people who are participating in ecosystems that care about crypto. These are quality wallets, right? So their algorithm really was to just go ahead and try to filter out the most quality users as possible to represent and hold Monad, right? So people who are participating in governance, meaning they're holding a token probably long term, they care about the future of the token, decisions from the core team, etc. Those are the type of users that they're looking for, right, within their ecosystem. Not someone who's just here for a quick buck dump and then move on to the next thing, right? So I feel like that
yeah.
was part of why they were able, part of why they filtered out so many users, right?
Can we go on? Can we go on and chat about the base airdrop? Because this one has like JP Morgan was saying that it could be like 34 billion market cap for the base token, which I think is semi reasonable given that BNB is like at like 100 billion, right?
Yeah,
So I mean Coinbase has their stock too. This would be their token, but 34 bills sounds reasonable, and they were predicting potentially 20% of the community, which I think
damn.
is also reasonable given that they've always said that they want to decentralize more. So if they spread this widely and they make this for governance, they make this for like things like that, then it could really be um like help decentralize and spread out the ownership of the network.
100%.
Now, the
Okay.
the big question is what will they value? What will they give allocation for, like, do you think it'll be something like Monad where they try to give like organic activity, like governance and things like that? Will it be like their preferred like favorites? You know how Jesse has his favorites when it comes to like Zora, Farcaster, like Aerodrome, for example, which I wish we had a pool on Aerodrome instead of Uniswap, but maybe someday, things like that. What do you think in general about the base airdrop?
Well, in general, as you mentioned, they definitely have just max firepower, max resources. When you're talking Coinbase, you're talking base the chain. 34 billion doesn't sound crazy at all, like you said, especially seeing Binance at the 100 billion levels. Overall, I think they're probably gonna go ahead and prioritize quality wallets. We saw that they already had a scoring system that a few of us in Retail DAO was able to check our score. I guess
Is
that
that
was just a
legit?
quality.
That's not from the team, right? That's just like
Was
some.
didn't Jesse post that?
I think Brian Armstrong posted a
Oh,
screenshot of
Brian
it.
did.
Yeah,
Right. Oh, the fact that Brian did, I guess people were more so speculating that that
but
had something to
yeah,
do with it. But I
it's
mean,
like
it's
on chain
Brian.
score. It's like on chain score.xyz, right? I don't think.
Yeah.
I think that's just like a semi fun thing, and I don't think that was like official. Like they're gonna live and die by it. Point being,
No,
if you get a high on chain score there, it does not necessarily mean you're gonna get max allocation for base airdrop. Was what I'm thinking.
I agree. I agree totally. Just the fact that, just the simple fact that Brian mentioned it, because there's a lot of obscure different things and tools and sites. I feel like that was a strong speculation point, but we can't take that as gospel. It's not confirmed that it's anything. But overall, the fact that now that they've said there's a token, I feel like now, like, the sweet spot of airdrop season is coming back, and a lot of people are going to fade it because a lot of people got burnt over the last year, I'd say, farming, or even like with Monad. A lot of people walk away from airdrop farming after that. But then sometimes you have major projects like OpenSea saying, hey, we're having a token, do this, and this. Here's the quest. They have the voyage quest. Boom. Base saying we're having a token. And then Brian mentions this on-chain score thing. MetaMask just dropped their point system. You can go ahead and get points. These are some of the biggest companies in all of crypto that haven't had tokens for years, that are finally
Yeah,
having TGEs again. And we just got Monad, which is great. Solid 4, maybe 5-figure airdrop. Airdrop season is actually back. And it's actually very, like, I guess I won't want to even say hidden in plain sight. If you just go to the X's of all these major companies, they're talking about how they're having their tokens. They're telling you how to get it. So the ones who are getting proactive now, I think Monad was probably a good way to get the ball rolling for this next leg of airdrop season. And that's my time to shine. The airdrop season is back.
yeah.
Yes,
Airdrop
whoever said
season
that,
is back.
So overall, I think Base has the potential to potentially be one of the strongest ones. Of course, Coinbase has just so much money. Base has been going strong. There's a great community on the Base chain. Of course, Retail DAO's on Base. And I feel like just even simple things like how the governance got us a lot into Monad, I think that should probably help pretty well for the Base airdrop, hopefully, and things like that. So I just urge everyone watching to just pay attention to what literally the projects themselves are telling you to do to get these airdrops, because they have the potential to cook. They have a lot of resources. So that's how I see it.
Yeah, for sure. You mentioned a lot of airdrops in the past like 2 minutes or so. I want to kind of talk about some of them and see like which ones we're actually excited about.
Right.
We mentioned that Monad were like kind of half and half on, or maybe
Right.
you're a little bit different than half and half, but some of these other ones. Okay, so for example, Base, I am super bullish on it. For that one, I think we have no idea what the allocations are going to look like, but if we do get some, which presumably we will, I think for that, I would honestly hold close to 100% of that airdrop, just because of how bullish I am on Base and Coinbase in general, like long term. For
Right.
the other one, those I'm not sure. Like I think it obviously depends on like what it opens at and what the general market sentiment is at. Things that affect every project, kind of.
Right.
But for example, for like OpenSea, for MetaMask, even some of these smaller ones for Rabby, for I don't know. like some of them, I don't even know why, like the bullish fundamental case for their token. What do you think? Are you
Well,
excited about some of those, or are you thinking that they're all like full dumps per se?
well, I know this might sound here. I'm not sure if I can pull this up. Can you let that screen in real quick? I pulled up a screen right there of Arbitrum. Okay, so Arbitrum airdrop. I feel like the way you're feeling about the base airdrop potentially is how a lot of people felt about the Arbitrum airdrop, and this is how it ended up. And Arbitrum is not a small fish. They're one of the best layer 2 blockchains out there. And this is the price action. The reason being is because you're not paying gas in the Arbitrum token. You're using it for governance. You're using it. It just represents the Arbitrum blockchain. Price action has not been good, and VC presence. So actually, you mentioned all these other ones being obscure, but actually, base potentially has the potential. I don't want to be I don't want to, as you know, I'm a bullish guy, but I don't want to be a fudder. But you see how it went for Arbitrum. I'm pulling up is Optimism, which is base is actually built from the OP stack, right? So this is the Optimism price here, and look at that, from $4 to 44 cents. And base
They
is
have
built on the
no
Optimism stack.
they have no real value accrual to those two though. Like imagine if you say imagine this, you stake base token and you get a cut of the fees that they generate.
Is
I
that
think
is that what it is?
no,
I don't think
but
that's what it is.
it isn't. But the reason why it isn't is because the U.S. regulatory structure does not allow that. That's why Uniswap doesn't have a fee switch right now. But
Right.
with the Clarity Act coming potentially soon, we could see tokens finally allowing them to pass through revenue for holding. And if Base did that, oh my goodness, Wall Street's gonna freaking buy Base too. Like no joke.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. If that was the case, if they were to introduce something like that, I guess that's speculative. I'm not sure if they've teased at that at all. But of course, that would be huge, and they'd be one of the first ones to do that. And Coinbase has some of the strongest fees as we've seen. So I mean, that would be massive. That would be massive. I wouldn't hold my breath on that personally, but if I was comparing it to Arbitrum and Optimism, which have some relation to Base as being similar, or Optimism feeding into Base, that just makes me not drink the Kool-Aid. I'm still looking forward to the Base airdrop. Still a massive, massive event, but I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid or getting too bullish based on just some of the price action of similar projects in the past.
Right.
And especially if the Base token is just for governance and
Nah,
not,
it's gonna be more than that. I'm
it
quite
has to
confident on
be.
that.
It has to
Yeah.
be, because Arbitrum is really just governance. I'm not sure what else Arbitrum token does or what it's for. It's not for gas. So
Like
that's the one thing.
Uniswap, look at the Uni token. That's the biggest meme in the space because Uni generates like hundreds of millions, if not billions, in fees, right? But none of that
Yeah,
is being
and look at
captured by
that.
their token. But imagine, can you pull up? Let me see. Crypto fees generated projects.
Search that. Or you gonna just-
Crypto fees. Yeah, here. Let me share my screen.
Okay.
Oh, whoops. Okay, can you see this?
Yeah.
Look, Uniswap. Okay, this is a 7-day average, but how do we see like? Okay, just even 7-day average is fine. Like 2.3 mil for a
Damn.
week, and yeah, and it wasn't
average.
even like a crazy trading week.
Exactly.
Like on a big week, this would do like bullish week. This would go up significantly more. So if Uni would actually get the final okay from their lawyers and turn on the fee switch and give us a cut of this freaking revenue, then Uni's going to go to the freaking moon. Like it would be like a dividend stock, like Coca-Cola
Yeah.
pays you how much, like a few dollars per share or something like that.
Right.
And it's a different strategy. Like, yes, you can like get appreciation from Coca-Cola shares themselves, but that's not the main point of it. The main point is that they promise you a specific dollar dividend per share. Like it's literally promised, and that's what dividend buyers or investors go for. So if Uniswap were to give us a cut of these freaking fees, I would buy that for the passive income. It's not even about like, oh, Uni to the moon. I mean, yes, like that's also part of it, but a huge, probably the majority part of it is getting a cut of this. And that is
100%.
just like would be amazing. I would
That
buy
would be
freaking
amazing.
Uni. Like mark that down. I would buy freaking Uni if they get us a cut of their fees.
Yeah, I mean that sounds like a no-brainer. I guess it depends on. It comes down to just the tokenomics themselves, how they would structure it, and things like that. How much of the fees? But overall, I think that'd be very bullish, and that's a good point. If Base does consider doing something like this, that would be crazy. Being like one of the pioneers from the time of the Clarity Act coming out to really introduce this as like a tier 1 blockchain.
Clarity Act
that,
is coming out, by the way. Clarity Act will come out soon.
I mean, if Base was to take advantage of that and use that to implement a revenue sharing structure for their community, I would definitely completely flip bullish on that for the long term. But to be frank with you, based on I guess my screen's still pulled up. Exactly, based on how where was it? Optimism Arbitrum airdrop did when they came out. I would probably dump my Base airdrop, or at least most of it, and maybe I'd keep maybe 20% of it in just in case something crazy happens. It is Coinbase at the end of the day, which is one of the biggest players in the world. But yeah, just because of things like this, I wouldn't be holding my breath.
Can we talk about the MegaETH airdrop next?
Yeah,
after you 100%. Finish your thought.
Yeah, I mean that was pretty much it. Of course, we have MetaMask and OpenSea as well. You got MegaETH. Now, MegaETH, they raised a crazy amount of capital. Where can I even see that?
Yeah, token dot. Can you go to MegaETH?
This is
can you just go to the MegaETH site? Actually,
yeah,
it may not show you there.
I can reach it from here.
Yeah. So I want to chat with you about their ICO because they're letting people participate, and like US people have to have a 1-year lockup with a discount or something. And their cap is $1 billion. Yeah, I don't. Oh, there you go. Yeah. MegaETH is supposed to be like faster than Solana and Monad even.
Yeah. Has crazy hype. Crazy hype. I wasn't getting involved too much, but I know when Bearchain started dying out, a lot of their builders actually went over to MegaETH and some of the community as well. So that's when I really started hearing a lot about it. But they raised a staggering amount during their ICO. Their public ICO. I was seeing some users commit like 6 figures. I think they raised over 500 mil. If that's what.
I think
50. It's saying 50 million. I'm not sure if it's updated.
I see MegaETH and Monad as the 2 new shiny horses or like race cars on the track. Like. Back in the day, it was Sui and Aptos. I think now in 2025, 2026, it's Monad and MegaETH. What do you think?
I mean, they definitely have the spotlight right now. There's definitely a lot of new developments and new builder activity on these chains. So it's definitely something to not ignore. But now the question is it going to stand the test of time? Is it going to avoid becoming a ghost chain post-launch? Because there's been some major launches that did get, a lot of spotlight. But following the launch, I guess maybe the traction just didn't sustain, or there wasn't enough development activity on it. I guess it'll take some time to tell. I haven't jumped into MegaETH enough to really know too much about the ecosystem underneath. See, they're doing some stuff with Athena, Chainlink, like huge partnerships, huge capital, but I haven't actually gotten on there.
Can you pull up the Aptos chart, by the way?
Yeah.
Like Aptos all-time chart? And zoom out all the way. Interesting.
Damn. How did it look at this triple
peak kind of thing?
Triple peak. It never makes it much higher than $16.
Wait, look at market cap though. Flip to market cap. Let's see token inflation.
Because there has been some unlocks.
Yeah, look at this token inflation.
Damn.
But yeah, I mean, I feel like Aptos is kind of dead right now.
It is. There's rumors that stuff is bubbling up and it's starting to, like I guess development wise, start catching up to Sui or just start cooking some stuff. I even saw some Sui projects that are flirting with Aptos as far as becoming, you know, compatible with both chains since it is the same move programming language, which I found interesting. But for the most part, Aptos I think has been dead. Um, just like in comparison with the other chains, you don't really hear of any new, like, oh, gotta get into this protocol on Aptos. I've never heard that, at least on my timeline.
I've never
But
even bridged to Aptos, to be honest with you. I've at
neither
least
have
used
I.
Sui. I've used Sui a few times, but I have never even bridged to Aptos.
But apparently, the Aptos maxis are saying that if you know, and Aptos season is coming. Like they have some sort of core cult community back there saying that it was just a matter of time. So the people who are over in Aptos have a lot of conviction there. So I mean, I guess that's worth something. But personally, I haven't been enticed to go over there or felt any FOMO at all. And this chart doesn't make me feel any FOMO either. So.
And it's just what people are saying. Like, there's so like block space is a commodity these days. There's so many different chains, so like why like some shiny new one. Yeah, Linea too. Linea is backed by consensus, right?
Exactly.
Oh my
The reason I was
goodness, look
pulling
at
up
this
Linea is
crap.
because
This is
we were
gonna
getting
what
ready to talk about
this is
MetaMask,
what
right?
MetaMask is gonna look like.
That's what I was
MetaMask
gonna.
is
That's
gonna
why I
look
pulled
like
it up.
shit.
That's why I pulled it up. Now, MetaMask is an airdrop I've been honestly anticipating for years now, ever since I started talking about airdrops. If you're like me, your first on-chain experience was probably through MetaMask. That was the first time I sent tokens off of a centralized exchange to go ahead and finally start participating directly on chain. Back in the day, MetaMask, I'm like, oh, I've been trading for so long, I've been holding crypto for so long, interacting for so long. This airdrop's gotta cook, right? My wallet is from back in the day, et cetera, et cetera. I've done a lot of in-wallet swaps, et cetera, a lot of speculation. And honestly, MetaMask fees are pretty high when it comes to their tools and things that they do. And they take, of course, fees from all these on-chain transactions, which majority of the community uses, right? So that's what made me super bullish
Yeah.
on the MetaMask airdrop. And of course, consensus. They just have so much money, right? They're just always printing money. But then when you go ahead and look at Linea, right? Like, what went wrong there? And is it a ghost chain? It's a ghost chain trading at 200
Can you
million.
even call it a ghost chain when it just came out like a month ago? But I don't think anyone's using it though, that's for sure.
No one's using it. 200 million market cap to me is just insane.
Can you open up their website? I want to see like what they're even. It's on to the left. Yeah. What is Linea even? Just an L2. This is the problem. It's not even exciting. Like if you didn't know that this was Linea and you just looked at the website, you'd be like, okay, and it's not even.
Who is this?
That's a Joseph Lubin, the CEO of Consensus.
Okay. Yeah, he's balling.
Yeah.
Damn.
So,
but yeah, you're right. It doesn't seem like anything crazy, and it's yet again another L2. What are we
like, give
doing
me a
here?
reason to use it. Like at least for whatchamacallit.
I'm so underwhelmed by this website.
Yeah. Like at least for like I use Hyperliquid because they have an amazing app on top, but that's the thing. Like some of these don't even have apps.
That's the thing. And
Hyperliquid owning lately, bro. Look at this.
Yeah, no, they're
Look
crazy.
At the sexy chart, dude. And people sold on day one. Look at how much, like 20x.
See, I feel like there's an important lesson in here, and you went over it really briefly. At the end of the day, it comes down to substance. Hyperliquid had success. They're a great app to use. It's a great experience for your on-chain perps trading, right? Simple and short. All of these layer twos and even new layer ones, they're competing with each other, essentially doing the same thing. A lot of them very marginal differences that the user won't even notice, especially new users, and they end up hovering back to to the chains where the most liquidity is flowing or the most activity is, which is right now Solana. Binance has made a big comeback in the last little bit. Maybe we'll see a proper base season soon. But that's the tough value proposition, and that's the reason I dump every airdrop, almost every single airdrop. Hyperliquid was product first. You want to see these chains and these cryptos that are product first and actually building something that's better than what's out there and hitting these pain points. That's what's going to make it
Bro,
stand the test of time, right?
also, a big reason why I'm bearish on like OpenSea is because I think NFT season is dead. Can you go to OpenSea website?
Yeah.
And they're trying to pivot to like selling tokens too, which no one who buys
Yeah.
tokens on OpenSea, like no one.
I didn't even know you
Like
could
look at
until I
the
saw
yeah,
the
you can like switch from NFTs to tokens on the right side. The right side.
Yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
even know you could until I started
Yeah,
looking
you
at the
can you
farming.
can
Until I
like
started looking at the
because
farming, you
NFTs
can
are
go ahead
dead.
and they have a swap.
They do.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
swaps, token swap right there.
yeah, they have a swap and everything like that. The thing is, it's like I feel like it's maybe a revenue thing. Um, as you mentioned, NFT volumes have dried up over the years, and especially even OpenSea itself. There's been so many competitors come out over the year and take a lot of their market share. The revenue that they used to make back in like 2021 bull run was insane, right? They made they made billions of dollars. So the thing is, it's like
They also
they're
raised so much money, and now
yeah.
like VCs are down on their investment. You know, when VCs aped in at the top. Hopefully that doesn't happen to like Polymarket because I should get some Polymarket airdrop too.
Oh, that's supposed to be another major one. That's supposed to
Oh
be
yeah, we
another
should talk
major
about
one.
Polymarket airdrop, dude. That's gonna. I feel like prediction markets, like I think they just make a lot of sense, you know, and I don't see them going anywhere. I don't see them like disappearing like NFTs. I don't know. Maybe you're more bullish on NFTs in the past, but I was always bearish on NFTs. Like I only bought like 2 or 3 ever, and they were like small random ones. But Polymarket, I checked that for news like all the time, and I did put in some things just to like farm and try it out. But I see Polymarket staying. Like I see the staying power. Um,
Let's see if they have updated information. I want to
yeah,
see if we
this
can see some
looks.
of the revenues. Polymarket definitely has okay, there we go.
Oh, 21 billion. Wow.
21 billion trading volume. The thing is, Polymarket has just such a strong market share of the predictions market. There was like the main major first mover. I guess the founder just became the youngest billionaire. But now I'm seeing Polymarket like on other places. There was an NFL game I was watching. Tom Brady was announcing for, and he's like, "Oh man, I got to check the Polymarket on something." I'm like, "Damn." I'm like, damn. So like that goes to show how far it's gone. Like things like this are what's starting to onboard people and break the barriers of crypto and go outside of crypto
Yeah.
because you can bet on anything, on just world events, different things like that. And I feel like it's apps like that that have success post token launch, and you see these tokens pump even after the airdrop because they built a software that actually can have demand and ongoing demand and can grow. So things like that make sense. Sometimes it's really simple. It doesn't have to be the craziest tech in the world. But Polymarket is smart, it's useful, and that's how they're able to, drive billions in volume here. So I'd be very bullish on that. I haven't done enough trading on Polymarket. I haven't really used it much, to be honest, but I'm gonna start doing that if there's anything interesting. Maybe anytime I'm doing some sports betting, maybe I'll
Yeah,
be
that's the
on
thing.
Polymarket.
Like Polymarket and Kalshi are actually taking a lot of like DraftKings volume,
Yeah,
which is crazy to think about, isn't it? Like, be honest, like if you um if you like were a sports better and you're like, should I bet on DraftKings or prediction markets? I would think that they would prefer like a regular sports betting site, right? But apparently
right.
Kalshi and Polymarket are taking a lot of their revenue, which is surprising for me, to be honest.
Apparently you get better odds, different things like that. I guess can you do it no KYC as well?
Yes. Or
Yeah, so
Kalshi, you
there's
have
no
the KYC.
KYC.
Kalshi, you have the KYC.
Cost you after KYC. I think Polymarket's no KYC, right? So I mean that could be a factor. You could be in a jurisdiction like in I guess like California or different places where they have like more strict regulations for sports betting. Let's say you're not from there. Like I know when I travel to certain places, like those apps, like you mentioned, DraftKings won't work, but I can hop on to something like Polymarket. I guess that's just like a simple selling point. It's reliable. There's lots of volume on there, and apparently you get better odds depending on what you're doing. So
one thing that is missing in terms of sports betting though is you can't parlay here.
see, that's a deal breaker for me right there. So I guess it's only straight bets. Yeah, I'm on the sports side. I haven't even seen this, but lots of info. It looks like they have categories: NFL, MLB, college football. But yeah, man, I think Polymarket has definitely the potential to be one of the bigger airdrops. Definitely, the revenues are strong, the community is super strong, et cetera, et cetera. And then OpenSea, I don't know how that one's gonna do. I wouldn't drink the Kool-Aid on that one.
Yeah, for sure. OpenSea, MetaMask, I would dump the crap out of those. Polymarket and Base, I would personally be a lot more bullish on, fundamentally speaking.
So you're gonna go ahead and drop half of your Monad airdrop, dump half of your Monad airdrop. Are you gonna be looking for plays underneath the ecosystem at all, exploring that, or are you just gonna be chill with your Monad and see how the success of the chain does, or potentially try to grow your Monad stack?
Probably just chill, to be honest. I'm not really looking to whatchamacallit, like farm or yield farm or things like that.
Right. Roll the dice, yield farm. I guess there's some decent risk incurred with a brand new project on a brand new chain. That's probably a safe way to go about it. I think I'm gonna sell probably 80% of my Monad airdrop. I think it does have potential to pump afterward. That way, I'm glad I took something off the table right away. It's free money anyway, and then the rest is just house money on house money.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
If it ends up going crazy, at least I have some exposure. If it ends up dumping, at least I got value out at the peak.
I do like,
so that's how I'm gonna play.
I do like Monad and MegaETH more than a lot of the other L1, L2s out there, though. Just generally speaking.
MegaETH, I haven't. Are they conducting an airdrop?
I don't know. Possibly.
Okay.
But
yeah. I haven't used MegaETH. I haven't used MegaETH that much. Are there any plays underneath MegaETH that you're looking at, or just the chain as a whole?
Chain as a whole.
And it stands for Make ETH Great Again, right? It was like a play on Mega.
Oh, really?
I realized that yesterday. Yeah,
wow,
Make ETH Great Again.
That's funny.
Mega ETH, like Mega. And yeah, they've been growing quite like a cult community. But yeah, overall, the bottom line with all this airdrop stuff, like I mentioned earlier, these projects now, it's like the mask is off, no pun intended, MetaMask, the mask is off, where they're telling you exactly what to do to go ahead and get these airdrops. If like you've been struggling in your crypto farming journey for the last couple months and years, like most users have, then now I think is a great time to not get tired and get off the computer. I think it's a good time to stay locked in, stay engaged, stay updated, put notifications on for your favorite projects and some of the voices in crypto you like to listen to most, because a lot of these projects are just telling you exactly what to do to go ahead and get eligible. Then these projects are seeing each other like, oh, Monad launched and it has all this hype. Oh, what are we going to do next, right? Or how can we one up them, right? And a lot of the times when it rains, it pours in crypto. So you see a cascade of projects coming out, just like they call airdrop season. That's why we have seasons, right?
Yeah.
It's like a cascade of things happening. So now imagine you max qualified for Monad like Kevin did. And then you got a good allocation on Base, on MetaMask, on OpenSea. Right now, you could do things on MetaMask and OpenSea right now to go ahead and get your wallet eligible. And they're telling you straightforward. It's not like some secret thing or some weird eligibility. You're building up points. Your points are going to relate to tokens when TGE comes, and you're going to be happy you did that work. So over on my X, it's in the thing.
Let me
whenever we get back to the regular thing.
Let me get this off. There you go. Follow Josh.
I'm going to be heavily talking about those airdrops that I just spoke of. I've been offline for a bit. I had a crazy trip to Asia, crypto retreat. So last week I've just kind of been offline, just like resting and stuff. But I'm about to lock in heavily with the current new ecosystems to come out, and of course the airdrops especially. So I'm going to be covering all of that, just doing little tutorials and just what I'm doing to make sure my wallets are in. You know, for instance, I participated in retail DAO governance on my alt wallet, which wasn't my main wallet that I farm on. My alt wallet's what I held my retail in, and I was voting on different governance votes back in the day. Even originally, I was even a lot more active, and that wallet got my airdrop for Monad to the next tier.
Nice.
I didn't think to check that wallet, and when I saw everyone checking their wallets because of the governance, I'm like, let me try this one. It's the one I use. Boom, and I went from the mid tier, mid we like you, to you're cooked, which is the second highest one.
Nice.
Right? So just like that, I was able to double my airdrop, because from what we've seen, it's been like almost 2x from the previous tier for each one, right? So it goes to show it goes a long way, and you thank yourself later for doing these transactions.
Have you farmed the base airdrop yet?
No, but see, that's part of the new things we're exploring. I know they're doing a coordinated event over in the retail DAO.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, we're doing it together. I mean, essentially, we're doing what you like. If you did it yourself, that's totally fine. But the point of this is that we're doing it together within a week, and everyone who completes the quote unquote mission gets some retail tokens too. I mean, is it a lot of retail tokens per person? No, but you also potentially qualify for the base airdrop, which could really get you like you said, 4 or 5 figures or so. So basically, this is a reason why you guys should get out of your lazy asses and farm the base airdrop with us. Of course. Like I said, you could do this yourself later, right? Of course, you can do this yourself later. That's not the point. But the point is, we get off our lazy asses, do it now, optimize our chances of qualifying for the base airdrop, and get some retail tokens, just a little bit, for everyone who completes the mission, which is basically just do some research, try out some dApps, try out some stuff, share screenshots. That's it. Honestly, it doesn't take y'all that long. Everyone should join Retail DAO and do these missions with us. And our first mission was prediction markets airdrops, and someone qualified for Limitless. During, because they surprised TGE during our mission. So yeah, you guys should all do this with us. We're doing a lot of joint farming and things like that. But Josh, before we wrap this up real quick, I just want to get your high level views of the markets on a whole. Do you think that the bull market is over? And what are your general thoughts on the markets?
Honestly, it's been a little bit of a weird one. Of course, we got Trump and everything that he's doing, the geopolitics, all this stuff definitely comes into play. You know, we've seen single tweets, you know, do flash crashes. We've seen, you know, one day is one thing, one day is. I'm not sure if you saw the info today. Trump just met with. Trump said that he's meeting with China, and that this next, whatever they're going to announce next, is going to bring max liquidity into the markets. So you can't really like definitively say anything. I feel like nobody right now knows exactly what's going to happen, more so than ever.
Yeah, exactly.
But my personal gut feeling is that we have one more euphoric leg up, at least in the alt season. And there's going to be an event where there is a liquidity. I actually believe that last week, where there is a nice liquidity event. You know, we have rate cuts and different things going on. And I think we have one grand pump, but I think it's actually also going to stop as fast as it started. So I'm going to be taking profits aggressively. Q4 crypto, if you know about the history of crypto, Q4 is typically the strongest time of the year for crypto. And when things start going crazy, we're just getting into, you know, November, December. And I feel like those are going to be some of the craziest months of crypto. I'm watching very closely these next 2 months. I'm farming as hard as I can these next 2 months. I'm watching for early bangers these next 2 months. And I'm trying to actually be out by like around Christmas, before the new year, and just sort of recalibrate and see what the state of everything is. Right now, with lots of uncertainty, but I'm leaning towards a bullish closeout to the year. What do you got? What do you think?
I'm with you. I don't really have too much to add. I also think it's a really hard market to read. And on X, I follow a lot of different analysts. And to me, it's like they're very split. Like some people think that the top cycle's over, they sold, and others think that we're going higher for either one more leg up or for several months more, which would be really surprising, actually.
It would be.
Yeah, so that's that. Thank you so much, Josh, for joining. Everyone go follow him on X, GPTJosh, and he's also in Retail DAO chatting about airdrops and other stuff as he's available. But we should do this again in the future when there's other big airdrop or other news. So
100%, man. Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure. I'll see you guys in the Discord, and I'll see you guys on X, hopefully. Let's go secure some more airdrops, secure some more free